Hey everybody, this is Erico and I am back again. Hope you guys are doing well. Why? Because you're watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see moi, rant aimlessly about different topics pertaining to East Asian pop culture as well as other current events. So let's talk about China and this whole gender dynamic that's been around for years and how men are the standard and women are what is beneath. Women have been seen as kind of like a system that is used for many different things in Chinese society, and men are also a part of this system, but men see women as a certain statistic and dynamic, and it goes into this whole big cultural process that can be kind of baffling when you really think about it, but then looking at it and seeing like everything and all the components that move in it and how there is one gender that is constantly kind of left out in the cold or left feeling used and disheveled, and this is women. So women have been feeling like they're being just used and abused and thrown away, and just even the way that women are looked at in Chinese society as like a baby making machine or like just any baby. It's like it gotta be boys. It's like, okay, you gotta pop out boys, and if you don't pop out boys, then you still a damaged goods because you keep giving us girls. Like, what are you supposed to do with girls? And it's like, but you still need women in order to produce babies, period. So, it's like, then women have this other dilemma where age comes in, ageism, and how they are looked at after crossing a certain age, and how men see them. Men consider women that are past the age of 30 leftover women, and women that are unmarried and cannot get a family and are not really usable for their overall image and fantasy of what they feel like a family should be.
In China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 羅底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝做辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you're called 笋盤, which means quality real estate.
I feel like that a family is a dynamic that is seen in many different ways, whether it is, for me personally, a man and a woman, a man and a man, a woman and a woman, a family. It's something where you show love to each person in that family, and it's a family dynamic that is uplifted. But when you have one party that feels like that they're just being used for their womb or being used because they are below the age of 30, it is absolutely insane to me. Like, I look at this and I'm like, I can see why women would want to run away. I would see why women would start looking at men like, oh, you repulse me, just because it's like from all angles they are seen as less than. So women started making their own communities, and this happened gradually. It actually came from the influence. There is a women-only village that is very ancient, that is in Chinese society and Chinese culture, where it's actually hilarious. They have a sign that says like women only, and they live in like the hills. It's very like rural, historical, the way that they dress, the houses, how the houses are formatted, all of that ties into like women being able to live in this society or this village as single women and be in their power and not have to worry about the standards of society. Because in Chinese society, if you're a single woman, it's considered a bad thing. If you're a woman that has your own points of views or feels like that you don't want to be with a man at a certain time, you're considered bad. If you're a woman that is older and is not with a man, has not had a family, you are considered someone that is negative. a negative aspect of the culture and the society. If you're not a woman that constantly pops out boys, you are considered a negative to the society. So these communities, these places are women only, and they're forming because a lot of women feel pressure. They feel pressure from this standard. And it's like, why can't they just be a woman and just live and be happy? Why does it always have to be, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. If you don't do this, it's like you are trash. So they're like, we get to come together as women and talk and be free and love each other. And I don't mean love each other like they're getting together, like they're becoming lesbians. I mean love each other like it'd be a sisterhood. It could be something like they're together in that way too. I mean, it's very possible. Romance, sisterhood, friendship, but they all come together. I remember I saw that they said they don't wear bras, and I'm like, free! They're running around the boop 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 boop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
在不同的工作环境里面，需要承担自己的责任。那么在责任之外呢，他们肯定是有一个需要完全不需要自己去承担自己的角色的一个地方，去做自己，只做自己。
Well, women now living here say they had a range of reasons for seeking refuge at the space.
到一个陌生环境吧，如果不是明确的状态里面，情况下面可能是这个全女性的状态会让我觉得很有安全感。还有就是我们可能女性跟女性一些话题去聊一些话题，可能会更有一些共鸣，是这样的。
Proponents of the concept say demand for female co-living spaces has grown as women in China achieve higher education levels and economic status.
他对自己的关注越多，那么他就会看见自己更多的需求。他看到了这样的需求，有一些人他就已经开始行动了。
And users say the spaces offer more than just emotional support. In Beijing, Lilith Jiang organizes cultural activities in an all-female culture space she opened.
发现就是有的时候仅仅只是因为女人聚在一起，就有了新的工作机会、新的工作经验的传承。
Jiang says that many Chinese women remain trapped by societal views about aging and growing old alone.
这些事情都是潜在的，但是我们就聊到，其实全女共居、养老。
But really, I mean, be free in whatever way you want to. I see no problem with it. I think that it's amazing that they have these communities and that it's like a safe haven for women and they get to live in these places that are like actually nice and cook for each other and talk about just the worries of being a woman in Chinese society, because I'm sure it's very lonely where you want to talk to someone and you can't, especially when there are women around you that have that ideology of that culture that says like, oh no, yeah, you should be married by this time. Oh no, you should completely submit to a man. And it's so funny to me because the man side of this is like a completely different story. A man can be older and be considered a bachelor still and still be considered in his prime. You're over the age of 30, you're over the age of 40. It's like, oh no, it's okay. Like, you're still considered something that is desired. Where in a woman, it's like your time is running out. So it is true that like after a certain age, it's harder for women to have children. However, it's like your happiness should be what matters the most. You know, it's like having a child is something that you do because you feel like you really want to, and you feel like you found the person that you want to do it with. But a lot of people have children for a lot of different circumstances and different reasons. And a child is a blessing. And I feel like that no matter if it's a boy or a girl, I just, it's like, you know, you're having a child and the husband is sitting there and looking at your bedside. And they're like, he's like, is it a boy? Is it a boy? And they're like, no, it's a girl. And he's like, oh. And meanwhile, your poor wife has given childbirth and she's sitting there like, oh. I know she's looking over at him like, you bastard. It's like, I just pushed this baby all the way out of me. And you worried about whether it's a boy or... It's like, just go away. So these women they wished themselves away. They have bars, they have like these hostels, they have all these different places they can go, and I think it's a wonderful thing because they need these places to be able to recover and rejuvenate themselves and just be amongst each other and feel like that they're in their own power. There is a feminist movement in China, but it is not looked at favorably at all. This is seen very much as like you are going against the machine that is the Chinese society and the Chinese government, and they want to block it and censor it out as much as they possibly can. So them having these all-women communities definitely help this idea that you're allowed to have freedom and allowed to have your own ideas, no matter if you're a man or a woman. You're allowed to have a time frame where you want to do things in your life, and it shouldn't matter that you're over the age of 30 or 40. I will say this, and I'm going to say this again. Over the age of 30 does not mean that you're old. Over the age of 30 does not mean that you're supposed to just keel over and die and dig yourself a hole and just slide in the hole and just bury yourself and be like, I'm dead. It's not that. It's never been that. 30s is 30s. You're still very young in your 30s. You can still have a very fruitful, exciting life in your 30s. It is not your 20s, but you are still young. You haven't even lived half of your life yet. For you to have someone sit in front of you and tell you that you are damaged goods or that you're too old. No. You're in your 30s, you still got a lot of youth left. And it's important that you use it the way that you want to, because there are a lot of outside forces and pressures that will tell you that you're supposed to do this way or this that way. And it's like, live your life how you want to. Your happiness is important. We all have things that we have to do, of course, and obligations and responsibilities. However, it's very important that you also take time for yourself and you live for your own happiness, because you only get one life. You only get this once. You don't get it over again. So it's very important. I think it's very important for women too to be seen as equals, to be able to decide their own paths. And not all women want to be a housewife. Not all women want to be a baby making machine. Not all women want to be seen for just their looks. Not all women want to be seen as brainless and mindless and stupid. There are women that are very smart, beautiful, that are forging their own paths, and they should be able to do that without being hassled by men. And this is coming from a man. I am a man, and I fully support this. So you guys, this is a lot to think about. How do you feel about all that I have talked about? Put your thoughts below. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also a blog, Niche Asian Pop Culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real. And I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. I love you all. I don't know why I'm talking in a halt. Bye.